What up, what up? Gon's here. Another video. Today we're actually gonna be going to the club with some Jersey Club. And I was using the East Coast hip hop kit that Serato has as a sound pack that you can download for free with the Serato Studio account. So again, Jersey Club, definitely a lot of high energy with this. And so I'm gonna show you guys how I flipped the sample and constructed a Jersey Club sounding beat. So let's get right into it. So the sample itself, again, is from the Essential East Coast kit, and it sounds like this. Let's get to it right here. It's called The City. So at first you're probably like, how are you gonna really go Jersey Club with this? This definitely can be very boom bap-ish. So definitely did some adjustments. For one, I made the tempo 151. The key is C minor. I pitched it up +5 on here. Just to give you some reference, I'll just play a section of it so you can hear what's going on. Yeah, so definitely some wild stuff going on with that. I guess I can go. You can still hear that kind of bass, wobbly bass. As far as the drums, because I think this is a part that some people kind of trip up on the Jersey Club side. It's a very distinct drum pattern. This is kind of the normal kind of Jersey Club bounce that you'll hear with the drum style. So it's like kind of a general type of Jersey Club beat. Let's see here. And then I use this little splice sample as well. Just add a little extra layer to it. If you're kind of wanting some kind of very Jersey Club, I guess, authentic sounds, on Splice, there's a producer named Unique that has some very useful Jersey Club tools. And then I think I use this percussion. I think this is percussion here. Yeah. Like these little, just this very reverby percussion. So we had that there. That was pretty much what I had, alongside like a very classic drum break from Think, Lynn Collins. Shout out to the OG. Oh, it would help if I... Yeah, when you definitely speed that up, you had that classic D&B feel. There we go. So there's that, and then I added like another additional break to that. Classic. So for that kind of section, sounds like this here. Again, just little fillers. That's really it on the drum side of things till I go to this kind of halftime section. And then this other little percussion I use in another part. Might as well go through the samples, right? Another little hi-hat.
Drop it low.
Drop it low. Got that vocal. Another little top loop. For this scene, in particular, I didn't use them all at that same time. A little shaker. Can't go wrong with shakers.
We are back.
This is a drum deck that I just used vocal chops for. So remember, drum deck, you can put whatever you want. So I just ended up putting like little vocal samples.
Bring it back now.
Little tones, little ear candy stuff. Then we have little laser sounds, drum fill. This other sample layer that I used during a breakdown section. So that goes like this. It just had a really good texture that fit really well during a breakdown. And when you combine that with the city like East Coast sample, you wouldn't think it works, but in context of what I was doing, it ended up fitting really well. This as well. I really had to pitch it up quite a bit. I did +10 on it. I was trying to be careful not to go too crazy on it, but it ended up working out. And I threw this little kind of Dembo drum pattern later on in the track. I think I combined a lot of elements with this one. Did this like a house loop as well. The snare percussion. I know it's a lot of tracks, I know. It's just at certain moments it kind of called for these things. A little vocal.
Bounce. Bounce.
Says the word bounce.
Back it up.
Back it up. This was during another kind of breakdown section here. I really liked how that sounded, so I added this super massive Valhalla Reverb for that section there, and then I did the swagged out sub bass. Just had a good tone, so I was like, all right, cool, that'll work. Just realized I had arpeggiator on my keyboard. There we go. And then we have these vocals from Uzi's pack. Sounded really cool. This very cool dubstep wub wub. I like those. I'm a sucker for those. And we have our drum fill buildup. I liked it because it had this like panning on the end, which I thought sounded really dope. And then this drum loop. So with this one, I actually implemented the delayed double up, and it's an effect I normally don't ever mess with, but I wanted to give it a shot and it sounded cool. So I just kept it. Normally it would just sound like this. Which by itself, it doesn't sound bad at all. Decap did the damn thing on this drum loop. But I wanted something different, so I just did delay double up at a half. I just like how that sounded, so I kept it. And then I use that tone kind of near the end too, but at certain moments as well. That's a little hey, but I turned it into percussion by like really... Yeah, just a really short sample. Sped it the hell up. Another little drum loop. A little effect there for certain sections. Shaker. Another little sub bass. There we go. We're almost getting there. This was very layered sample heavy.
We are back.
Another little vocal sample. So I'll go into the beginning here. That's kind of how I built it. So still it's in its kind of hip hop mode, and I start kind of ramping it up with the kind of Jersey club coming into it. Here we go. Now we go to that pattern. Now the vocals come in. Just kind of keep bringing energy up more and more and more and more. Now we kind of bring it down a little bit. So I have that sample coming in. I'm going to build it up more. Now we have the claps going. Now we're going to go into a halftime section. Going to keep this section going for a little bit longer. To this Dembo section that I showed you guys earlier. Back to Jersey Club. Or a mix of Jersey Club and Dembo together. And that's kind of like the outro thing. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of sections of different kind of styles, but the main emphasis was just having a lot of driving energy and just having that Jersey Club feel for the majority of it is what I was going for. Some of the changes here. So with the sample was just these little short little chops. Really it was just that little blip. Like that chop sounds like this. So I want to add it with this sample here. One here too. Like it already has that almost kind of like a carnival kind of vibe to it there. For this section, it's really just drum heavy, just having the accents of the sample. But this one is very percussion and very, very drum heavy to keep the bounce of the track. Then on here, we start introducing that vocal. So how that vocal chop works is I have this spot here. And I chopped it where it says bounce.
Bounce. Bounce it. Bounce it. Bounce. Bounce it. Bounce. 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 Bounce it. Bounce. 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 Bounce it. Bounce. Bounce. Bounce.
Okay, so I did this little technique right here.
Bounce.
It's like a key shift. So you're gonna hear this little key shift automation with the vocal. I'm just gonna loop this and solo this so you can hear it by itself. It's a cool little trick you can do. In a past video I did with a burial video, showed how to do it with drum percussion sounds. I'll put that up here. But with this one, I used the vocal for it.
Bounce, 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 bounce it. Bounce, 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 bounce it.
And you can see it happening right here.
Bounce, bounce, bounce,
Pay attention there.
bounce, bounce, bounce it. Bounce.
So I dropped it down -6 pretty quickly. And it shows it right here. -2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And goes right back up. Again, a cool little trick to do these kind of wild out kind of pitch melody. And then I use the Lynn Collins kind of drum fills to help me get to the next section. And then use another piece of a vocal to go into another section. Back it up, doon 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 doon, into the next part, which takes me into scene 3. So now we run into here. It's kind of a setup for another kind of build. Which then goes into the choir part. Let's go back to scene 3. A little laser sound as a fill. And then I had that little hey, 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 hey. Just to kind of build more anticipation. What's that sound? Where did I find that? Hey! Oh, there it is. I knew I had it somewhere. Where did I put that damn hay? There's our laser. There's our fill. Where the hell is the hay coming from? Oh, it's that one. Wrong one. I was like, I knew I had something. Because we ended up bringing down the tempo of it because it's 181, it gave it like a really cool kind of OG drum and bass time stretch vocal pitch thing. I know I butchered that, but I liked how that sounded, so I kept it. There it goes. And it had a long tail that let me get to the end, which was perfect because then it gets me into the choir section here. This is where I really changed the drum pattern where it's like no more kick. And what I did was instead of creating the same type of kick pattern, I was like, you know what? Let me swap the kick for the clap. So now the clap is actually playing what the kick would be. As an example, here we go. Instead of it just being the kick, I was like, you know what? Let me just put the clap with it. And made the kick drum just a little ahead of that. So it gave it like a really cool, I did a little kick there. With that, yeah, it worked really well. So as an experiment, sometimes try putting a clap where a kick would normally be and see how you can rock with that. Sometimes you might find a cool little accident. Hey! So at the very end of that, I did a mute automation of everything minus that hey. Because what I wanted to do was surprise you with going halftime. So sometimes my goal is to kind of surprise the audience in a good way, as best as I can. Hopefully the intention works. So now I go into this double time section. Or not double time, halftime, my bad. So as far as the drum pattern with that, super simple with that. So there's times where I'll just have this simple clap and then mix it with the reverb. because I didn't want to have that specific reverby clap on everything because it would kind of throw it off. I kind of wanted to just kind of tease a little bit. Regular, regular, regular. Now reverb clap. Regular, regular sound, regular clap together. Boom. Just to have a little variation. Probably from some past videos, you can tell I try to do drum variations in my tracks. I think it's my own OCD and wanting to keep changing things, but I have to always be careful not to change too much of what's going on. So that's where I'm layering this here as well. That loop that we had earlier without the delay double up on there. So now I did automation to turn that off. Because when I combine it with this drum up here, like it starts to really fit in there well. Then with the other percussion here. You're probably seeing a bunch of videos. It's all about the layers, bruh. They introduce that choir kind of loop. So those extra little wub sounds are all in this section here. It's coming, it's coming, coming, coming. Just that little sprinkle of that. Just a little sprinkle. Just a little sprinkle. Where is that little? There it is. And that little wubby right there. Little wubby. Sometimes I'll add like a little impact sound on the very, very, very first beat, just to emphasize it a little bit more. That was my intention for putting that sound in there. Remember, every sound should have a reason why it's there. Then we're gonna go into scene 4. We'll add a little bit more vocal kind of wordplay. I'm gonna solo it because it's right here. It's getting there. It's getting there.
Bring it back now.
It just really added just a little bit of something that I needed.
Bring it back now.
Then I added that little drum fill near the end just to help me carry it over to the next section. Didn't do any really processing. It was just picking the right time to introduce that fill. So then from there, we had this little intro, or called intro. I always put intros in weird spots. It's we're kind of doing like a reset because now we're into the kind of dembo drum style. Introduce with the claps. Now we introduce the rest of the percussion elements here. So with this one, I'll just do the drum pattern here. See what's going on with that. Now it feels like we're in a totally different realm here. Introduce a sample with it. Then we use this little drum fill section. I kind of just made my own little manual, kind of wild little drum sequence here. So this sounds like this. Oh, perfect. I did another kind of pitch automation with this, with the kick drum here. Again, a lot of people tend to not even know that you could do that with this. So I just did it to the kick drum. So you can hear it go. Like that. Just for, I don't know. I just I felt like doing it. So I was like, cool, why not? And then it gets me to the next sequence of adding the vocals again. So it just starts a now decay with sound. And that's kind of how I ended it. So, yeah, that was like my very Jersey Club inspired flip of a sample that was in the Serato Studio Soundpack, the East Coast one that you can get free with your Serato Studio license. I'll put a link in the description. I will put a link as well to the project files because some of you have been asking me for it. So I'm like, sure, why not? Hopefully this gives you a better insight onto how to construct that kind of style of music. I think the biggest takeaway from it is how you build your drum programming for it, because it could have a particular type of sound with it. And as far as on the swing side, some people do you have any swing on it? Maybe about 5% as far as on the actual swing knob on there. I pretty much have it on the grid. If you're trying to, again, adjust something off a grid, you pick your sample from your drum deck, hit your keyboard. And I I kind of just shifted them over just a little bit. And basically what I did is I held shift, selected them all, and then clicked and hold and just moved them barely on there. So just know that you can do that. So again, hopefully this helped you out. If you have any questions about anything with it, I will try my best to answer it to the best of my abilities. I appreciate everybody watching the videos, giving me their suggestions for new ones. I'm trying to knock out as many genres as I can and at least attempt them, just so that it can maybe help someone that wants to learn how to do that kind of style and not feel so stumbled and not knowing how to do it. So feel free to let me know if there is something that I might have overlooked, and I will give it my damnedest to try to figure it out. Again, I appreciate all the love and support. Some people say subscribe, so if you want to subscribe, it's all good. If you don't, it's okay. I just want you guys to learn. And with all of that, my name is Gons, out of Houston, Texas, helping you guys using Serato Studio today in making some Jersey Club fusion. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Take care, everybody. Peace.